Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are exploring the absolute ultimate list of the world's most incredibly crafted artisan cheeses. We're going to take a journey together, going from hidden mountain chalets all the way to windswept islands, just to discover this profound connection between humans, landscapes, and our food. So get ready, because what we're about to uncover today is absolutely going to shatter your expectations. Okay, picture this. Somewhere high up in the freezing, pitch-black mountains of Switzerland, a man wakes up at 4 a.m., and he does this every single morning. He walks out to his herd, milks them entirely by hand, and then spends the next 8 hours making a cheese that won't even be ready to eat for another 2 years. There's no factory out there. There are no machines, no shortcuts. It's literally just one person, one recipe, and an unwavering commitment to the craft. You know, we are talking about a craft that actually outdates most human civilizations on Earth. By the time we finish our dramatic countdown of these top 10 extraordinary cheeses today, I promise you, you will never look at a standard supermarket cheese aisle the same way ever again. Okay, let's dive right into this. Kicking off our countdown at number 10, we have Appenzeller, the 700-year secret. So these exact mountain communities have been making this cheese continuously without a single interruption since 1282 AD. Think about that, over 740 years of history. But the real magic of this handcrafted marvel, well, it lies in a secret herbal brine called salts. During the aging process, every single wheel is washed in it. You can think of this recipe kind of like a fiercely guarded family Wi-Fi password that only a select few people on the entire planet have access to. It's this proprietary mix of white wine, herbs and spices that's passed down personally and never publicly written down. No modern laboratory has ever been able to reverse engineer it. But while Appenzeller's secret is carefully hidden away, our next cheese's secret isn't hidden at all. Moving on to number 9, Fior Sardo, the island cheese. This right here is Italy's oldest documented cheese. It actually predates the Roman Empire. Crafted in these remote, ancient shepherd huts scattered all across Sardinia, it's smoked over local wood, hand-rubbed with olive oil, but this is where it gets almost mythological. This cheese literally relies on microbiology that only exist in those specific stone huts. The native wild bacteria and molds living right there in the atmosphere, the microflora, they act as a living, breathing ingredient in every single wheel. The air of the island itself is essentially baked right into the cheese. Scientists have actually tried to recreate Fior Sardo in pristine, high-tech laboratory conditions using the exact same identical milk, identical equipment, and identical methods. And the result? Total failure. It always produces a completely different cheese. Science simply cannot copy the ancient, unchangeable reality of those Sardinian huts. Now, from an entire island acting as an ingredient, we move to a cheese made by just one person. Coming in at number 8, Malines, the accidental masterpiece. Back in 1976, on a really remote farm in County Cork, Ireland, a woman named Veronica Steele accidentally launched the entire Irish artisan cheese movement. She had zero formal training, she just had some surplus milk from her small herd and this amazing willingness to experiment. And her story brilliantly illustrates the power of terroir. The salty, moist Atlantic air and wild grasses of the rugged Beara Peninsula heavily flavor this incredibly pungent, earthy cheese. Cheesemakers all over the world actually study Malines today as the ultimate example of what one person's intuition and deep connection to a specific landscape can produce. It's a true personal legacy. But the strangest is yet to come as we look at another historical accident. At number 7, Époisse de Bourgogne, the monk's happy accident. Now, this cheese is legendary. It is so famously pungent, it was literally banned on French public transport, yet it was fiercely loved by Napoleon Bonaparte. And its creation, entirely an accident. Back in the 16th century, Cistercian monks in Burgundy started washing their aging cheese in Marc de Bourgogne, which is the local grape spirit. They didn't know the microbiology behind it, they just discovered that the alcohol suppressed the harmful mold and encouraged this beautifully complex creamy paste. That happy accident laid the entire foundation for every single wash-drying cheese in the world today. But while the monks relied on a total fluke, our next cheesemakers leave absolutely nothing to chance. Number 6, Winnemere, 30 years to perfection. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the story of two brothers, the Kohlers. They had zero cheesemaking background, but they decided to dedicate their entire lives to perfecting one single thing. After over 30 years of obsessive refinement in their underground caves at Jasper Hill Farm in Vermont, they created an absolute masterpiece. Windermere is wrapped in local Vermont spruce bark, which gives it this completely unreplicable woodsy flavor. But the absolute strictest rule? It is made exclusively with high-fat winter milk. You can only get this during the coldest months. And hey, if you think winter only is a strict rule, just wait until you see the summer-only rule. That brings us to number 5, Les Tevas, the summer cheese. This is an incredibly poetic Swiss Alpine cheese, and it is entirely dependent on happy, grazing cows and the warmth of the sun. By law, you are only allowed to make this cheese between May 10th and October 10th, and only above 1,000 meters in elevation. Why, you ask? Well, it comes down to pure flavor science. The cows are out grazing on wild mountain flowers and herbs, creating a totally unique fatty acid profile, packed with beta-carotene and omega-3s that simply doesn't exist in lowland winter milk. When those cows come down the mountain in autumn, production stops completely. But if you think a summer season is short, wait until you see the crazy timeline for number 4. Number 4, Vacherin Mont d'Or, the disappearing cheese. This one is a remarkably soft, spruce-wrapped cheese from the Swiss-French border that you actually eat with a spoon. And it has an astoundingly brief production window. 6 weeks. That's it. The cheese basically exists for only 6 weeks out of the entire year and is available to eat for maybe 12. It's exactly like that one fleeting summer vacation you wait all year for. The calendar is totally non-negotiable. It appears and then it entirely vanishes from the earth. To get it, you are completely at the mercy of time. But to get our number 3 cheese, you're at the mercy of extreme human skill. Welcome to number 3, Castelmagno, the rare skill. This crumbly, blue-veined Italian cheese from Piedmont is so historically revered that King Vittorio Emanuele II actually used it to pay his royal taxes. But today, the cheese is facing a very real crisis of skill. Fewer than 50 people on the entire planet possess the capability to make this authentically. It requires a highly complex double-curdling process where the cheesemaker must read the overnight curd solely by touch. It takes 10 years of daily tactile practice just to learn how to feel this cheese correctly. It's a skill living entirely in the body, not in some textbook. It's incredibly exclusive. But somehow, against all odds, number 2 is even more restricted. At number 2, Beaufort Chalet d'Alpage, the exclusive community. We are traveling high into the clouds of the French Alps to a community so closed off, outsiders are rarely even permitted to witness the process. The rules here are incredibly strict. There are exactly 74 registered mountain farmers, no more, no less. Every single massive wheel is made from the milk of just one herd on one specific morning, and it's pressed into a totally unique concave wooden mold. Each wheel is a literal snapshot of one specific mountain morning. Cheese critics actually consider it the closest thing in the food world to a first-growth Bordeaux wine. All right, let's take a deep breath because we have finally reached the grand finale. Here it is, the absolute summit. Number 1, Gruyère d'Alpage, the UNESCO masterpiece. This is it, the highest, rarest expression of Swiss Alpine cheesemaking, holding prestigious intangible cultural heritage status from UNESCO. So the crucial point is the sheer raw grit of the solitary cheesemaker, or fromager d'Alpage, who lives totally alone on the mountain all summer. The process is frankly unreplicable. 400 liters of milk goes from the cow straight into a hand-hammered copper cauldron over an open wood fire in just 30 minutes. Zero pasteurization. And get this, there is no thermometer. The cheesemaker judges the heat by dipping their bare arm straight into the milk, weeding the temperature against their skin based on generations of inherited instinct. In a world that produces around 20 billion kilograms of cheese annually by factory machines, fewer than 50,000 wheels of Gruyère d'Alpage are made by human hands. 3 separate Swiss food laboratories actually tried to replicate it using the exact same ingredients, and they completely failed. The mountain air, the copper cauldron, the bare arm of the maker, these things define the cheese at a literal molecular level. It is the ultimate triumph of human craft over industrialization. So the next time you're browsing a grocery aisle, ask yourself, are you just buying food or are you looking for a story that machines could never tell?